What it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again on this live stream impromptu, of course. Um, Wait for people to get up in here. On this Martin Luther King Monday, unfortunately, I had to work. I'm off now, so decided to do a little quick little live stream for y'all. Talk about this team. What is going on? And it's Martin Luther King Day. I don't know if those of you that were off of work. I had to work today, unfortunately, but it's all good. It's all good. Isaac Ramirez is going on. What's so different besides coaches? Yeah, that is what's different. It's the coaching staff, and that's huge. I don't know what these players are going to look like because it's not free agency yet, but we will see what happens. Then you said you want Dez. I argue with Mark about that point. I do want to see Dez come back because I still think he's got something in the tank. He's got a lot to prove. I think that what will have to change is if he's okay with being a player that can, take a back seat to Cooper. I think it'll be okay. Why not kick the tires on it? You done kick the tires on everything else. Why not? Why not take a look at it and see what happens? Now, I'm just going to talk about on this live stream right now just a little bit about, some of the changes that happened on this coaching staff and, well, all the changes that happened on this coaching staff. And pretty much going forward, what do we expect going forward headed into this offseason and things of that nature? I don't get why we let go of Gary Brown. I feel like it's good. Yeah, and see, I feel the same. I feel the same way, dude. I wanted to keep Gary Brown. Gary Brown and I think John Kitna are the only two complaints I have that we changed because I like both of those guys. John Kitna was really good with Dak Prescott and getting him the way he is now and, helping him with his mechanics and things of that nature. So I'm mad they let go of John Kitna and then that Gary Brown thing. That Gary Brown, that he was really good with Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard. He was with those guys. What's going on, Jed D? Yeah, Kid and Colombo as well too. I like Colombo. Now, I think their whole thing is they were trying to get the youth off of this team because there were a lot of coaches on this staff that were young and inexperienced. So I think that a lot of that is a derivative of just the inexperience that we had on this team and the reason why we weren't getting over that hump, because you kind of need some type of coaches that will get these players to play the way they need them to play, and they just weren't getting the best out of these players with the current staff that we had before. Down at Womack, what's going on, man? I'm all right, man. I'm feeling much better. Paul, what's going on? What's going on with you, brother? John House, what's going on, bro? Good to see you in here. Odell Beckham Jr. What? Yeah. Now Skip Pete. He's been on this. He was on this. He was the running backs coach from 2007 to 2012. He was there during the Marion Barber, Felix Jones, and the beginning of DeMarco Murray's career. And I don't know. I mean, he's familiar with the team. But I would have rather Gary Brown in that certain position. I feel like McCarthy hired Pete because he doesn't want to run the ball and he wants to build around Dax. Well, I mean, he did say that he's gonna give Ezekiel Elliott the ball. You can't not give Zeke the ball. You got to give him his carries. I think that Skip Pete would be good for Ezekiel Elliott if Ezekiel Elliott takes his if he accepts him being his coach, that is. Like if he doesn't, if Ezekiel Elliott has a positive vibe with Skip, I think that Skip can be good for him. I don't think that it's a downgrade that you got rid of him. I think that it's kind of like a even trade there. What do you mean? What's up with Mark's channel? Brian SoCal, what's going on? But you still want Zeke to get 300 plus carries like the last. Yeah. Well, that is the thing about Zeke. You're not gonna probably ever see him like his rookie year form because every year running backs they deteriorate. You know what I mean? Like they change. He's not going to be the same. Um, my whole thing with Zeke is, long as you're getting the production that you need out of him, like those tough yards. I don't need Ezekiel Elliott to run for 60 plus yards a play or whatever that, and run the field or whatever for a touchdown. That's all great and everything. And like when you see guys their rookie year, they do all that stuff. But Ezekiel Elliott is headed into his 5th year in this league. You're not going to see much of that. The main thing that I want to see from Zeke, I want to see the toughness. I want to see him scoring touchdowns. I want to see him where it counts, getting the first downs. What's going on, Marl? You and Mark and a few Cowboys, you too. I like to watch. I appreciate you, Donna. I really appreciate your guys' support. It means everything to me. I just want y'all to know that it really does. How do y'all feel about this upcoming season? I really can't really gauge it right now because it's too early. We haven't even hit free agency yet, so I don't know what players are going to come back. We will talk about as we get after the Super Bowl. I will get into both the draft and free agency. Obviously, free agency first. I don't like to get into the draft too much far ahead. I know that the homie Vosh, shout out to Vosh Lombardi. I know that he's already started his draft stuff. I've been doing my draft research, but I haven't got delved into it yet. I'm really waiting until after free agency because I really want to see what the Cowboys keep and what they let go. 43 Flex, what are going on? Go, my brother. All right, so if you guys been living under a rock and you haven't, and you ain't been around, we know that Mike McCarthy is our head coach. Checking in from Frederick. Oh, what's going on, David Jenkins? I've been looking at a lot of the more of the DBs and stuff, but like I said, we'll get into more of that after the Super Bowl. Now you look at oh, okay. I gotta say this. Shout out to the 49ers and shout out to the Chiefs. They're gonna be playing against each other in the Super Bowl. That was a crazy game. And then it almost seemed like Aaron Rodgers took a shot at Mike McCarthy after that game. I think it's really some resentment toward Mike McCarthy. I don't know why their relationship faltered so much, but all this stuff that we hear about Mike McCarthy and how things were, again, sometimes you just don't see eye to eye with your coach. And I just think that their relationship got sour. And I think that's between them two. I don't think that has anything to do with how Mike McCarthy is as a person. I think it's more so to deal with the situation that happened between them two. Junebug, thank you for the super chat, brother. Planning to get into XFL, go watch again. Yeah, actually, I was trying to keep it a secret, but I'm gonna go ahead and let it out. So Mark, I'm going with Mark and Michael to the season opener for the Washington XFL team. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna do some coverage there. We're gonna talk a little bit about the XFL and of course our Dallas Cowboys as well. So just to get you guys some extra stuff, we're gonna do that in the off season. So we'll see what that be like. So you're gonna see me all off season. I'm not going away like some of the YouTubers do. I'm not going away. I'm gonna be here the whole summer. Y'all gonna see me. Yeah, XFL I think is good for football. It's almost like the G League or the D League or whatever they want to call it. Because you can take some of those guys, poach some of those guys. If you get some injuries, and if you've been watching some guys from those teams and see what happens. I really want to see the Dallas team. I want to see because I know that Terrence Williams plays for that team, so I want to see what he's doing. You think Aaron Rodgers is all into himself? Like, yeah. Art, he's a diva, man, for real. He's definitely a diva, man. And you can see the way Aaron Rodgers is, the way he plays, that he's just so arrogant. I'm really not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I'm really not. He's just a diva. But anyway, as far as our coaching staff, let me get into this real quick. So, as you know, we kept Kellen Moore as the OC, and there was news that came out that Kellen Moore is going to call the plays. Now, some people are shocked about that, but I'm not necessarily shocked about it because I told you guys before that Mike McCarthy coming in really liked Kellen Moore. He watched the Cowboys this past season when he was on the bench, and he literally was like, okay, I like what he's doing with this team. I'm liking the way that he's moving the ball with this team. I'm liking the fact that he's got Dak with more yardage than he's ever had in his career so far. So I just what's going on, Kevin? So I just feel like Kellen, it's going to be really good for Kellen Moore to basically be there to learn under Mike McCarthy, to call the plays, and Mike McCarthy being there telling him, hey, when they do their game plan during the week, this is what we gonna do in certain situations in the game. And when they get to those certain situations, Kellen Moore could just look over at Mike McCarthy and be like, hey, what are you seeing here? This is what I would do. Do you think this is okay? I really think that Kellen Moore calling the plays is not going to be a bad thing for us. I think that because again, Mike McCarthy is not going to let him go to shit. He's not going to do that. He's going to be there for his guy. He's going to get him the way he needs to be. And I think that like for years to come, Kellen Moore can eventually be a head coach in this league years down the road. I just think that him being under Mike McCarthy is going to be really good for his career. Not only Mike McCarthy, but this whole coaching staff. And I talked about this before when Mike McCarthy got hired, that, you know, and when he started picking these guys, that literally the the football experience, the NFL experience on this staff is phenomenal. Like these guys have been coaches for shit. I think that if you count all the teams that it probably all 32 teams on this staff that we that they've coached for, pretty much. uh You said as long as we win the Super Bowl, who cares how the team looks? Well, you should care how the team looks, because the way the team looks is parallel to how you do to get to the Super Bowl. Because you don't want your team to look like crap, because if your team looks like crap, then you're gonna play like crap. You ever heard of the old saying is everybody say practice make perfect, but no, perfect practice makes perfect. You got to go to practice and you got to play like you got to practice like you're gonna play. It's the same thing. Well, you got to dress to impress. When you go to a job interview, you don't go to a job interview wearing Kanye West clothes. You looking like rags and stuff. You go in there with a nice shirt and tie, or a suit, or a vest, whatever the situation may be. But you gotta look the part. Even if like you're overdressed for the job that you're applying for, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. You have to practice like you play. And Jet D, too many times this team has come to practice and just been lackluster. Then you get into the game and all of a sudden we can't freaking tackle. And we're like, come on, y'all. Like, I know that upset you guys, because the damn show upsetted me. Like, to just sit there and watch your team just falter for no reason, it doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't. Charmin soft, I know, Jed D. And I think that with this coaching staff that we have now, with the experience that they have, I think that they're going to be able to get these players to do what they need to do. And low key, I think these players are excited about the change too. You know, they can't say in public, oh, well, Jason Garrett was this and Jason Garrett was that. They can't say that. Now, Jason Garrett was a good guy, and you know, a lot of those guys he did draft, so they do feel some type of way about him, and they do respect him. But at the same time, I know that they're happy about the future and what they can do with this team going forward. Primarily the defense. I think that the defense, Richard Yancey, what's going on? I think that the defense is more that needs the overhaul, in my opinion. Not necessarily a full player change. It needs a character change. I'm going to say it again. I don't think this team needs an overhaul in player change on defense. It needs a character change. And when I say character change, I mean the way that these players go about the game, the way they come to practice, the way they come to the game, the discipline. This team has not had discipline in, I don't know, Lord knows how long. Not at all under Jason Garrett, because Jason Garrett is not that guy to put a foot in their ass. And I need a coach to put a foot in their ass, but not too much. Just a coach in a way to get their attention, to strike fear in these guys' heart, to let them know that, hey, this is not a right. This is a privilege. And a lot of these players get out here and they think that the shit is made for them. It's almost like when you're in Pee-wees, right? And you get a participation award. We ain't giving out no damn participation awards. We are not giving out participation awards. We are coming in there and we're going to tell you this is what we expect from you. And if you don't do it, your ass is out of here. This is the reason why the Patriots have in the past won so much. What's going on, Tim? This is the reason why they won so much, because they had the discipline. Bill Belichick had that team to a point where, hey, this is what I expect. This is what I expect. You got to come in and you got to do what I ask you to do, and you need to come in and do what I say. That's it. As we talk about Mike Nolan, as a defensive coordinator. Now I'm gonna get into him more in a minute too, just to talk about our scheme and some of the things that is gonna be changing. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you get paid to do your job. You got to do your thing. Perry, what's up? What do you think about bringing Dez back? Is there? I spoke with it very briefly when I started the live stream just now, but I will say that me personally, I love Dez. I've always been a fan of Dez. I understand where he comes from. A lot of people take his passion for a problem, and I don't think he's necessarily a problem. I think he's just misunderstood. He needs somebody and a coach that is not soft. He needs a coach that is real hardcore, that be like, look, Dez, that will be able to check him, but also allow him to be himself, because Dez is who he is. Dez ain't gonna change. Yeah, I liked Chris too. I did. But yeah, so if Dez is okay, this is my take on it. If Dez is okay taking a back seat to Gallup and Cooper, I'm okay with that. If he's okay with just being a red zone guy, or maybe a slant route guy, because he was good at that. He was good on those slant routes in the middle of the field, and he was good at those jump balls in the end zone that we all love, that we threw up the X for. Because I know some people that talk shit about Dez right now are the same people that when he was scoring touchdowns, throwing up X's. Don't if you don't like Dez now, what were you doing before when he was on the team? Because I never saw this hate for Dez when he was on the team. It was like everybody loved Dez. All of a sudden, he's not on the team and everybody just hating him now. I don't understand this about some Cowboy fans that, like, y'all just shit on somebody just that quick and you forget what they did for the team. Do you understand that Dez Bryant still is leading the team in receptions and touchdowns? You do understand that, right? Even more than Michael Irvin. Not saying that he's a better player than Michael Irvin, but the fact that he has the franchise best touchdowns, and Witten is only behind him by one. So I'm just saying, I don't fault you for having your opinion, but damn, if you're gonna talk shit about the boy, at least feel that way the whole way through. Don't just do it now. You should have been that way before when he was on the team scoring all these damn touchdowns. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna get into that. But my favorite hire by the Cowboys, John Fossil, special teams coordinator. Now, we've seen what he did with the Rams. DJ, you said you love Dez? Yeah, man, we do. You said you want to pull your Dez Bryant. I got my jersey in the closet. It's gonna stay there. Even if he comes back, I'm just gonna frame it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, special team coach. Yeah, that's my favorite, John Fossil. We've seen what he did with the Rams. We've seen drafting the first round, we got to get a safety. Favorite hire, guys. That is my favorite hire. For him to just the creativity that he has on special teams. If Chris Jones is still gonna be our punter, he better get that arm together, because he's gonna be throwing that ball. Because we're gonna have some fake punts this year. Am I going to Mark's house for the Super Bowl? No, Mark is not going to be in town. Mark is actually leaving on Wednesday to go to the Super Bowl. He's going to be down there in Miami. So I will live stream on my channel during the Super Bowl, wherever I'm at. I don't know where I'll be at, though. I like our head coach. I like the hire. I love it, actually. Some people are feeling some type of way about it, but it is what it is. Look, I look at it like this. We don't know. We do not know what's going to happen next year. We don't know. But one thing I can tell you is, one thing I will tell you is, it's going to be better than what the hell we had before. No, it's not this Sunday. It's this Sunday. I think the Pro Bowl is this week. So it's going to be next week. Yeah, Corey, because them talking heads, man, they literally, look, they get paid to just talk nonsense. They get paid to basically, they have a script. And when they follow that script, they basically say, all right, you're going to agree with this and you're going to disagree with this, and we're just going to talk nonsense and we're just going to fire the fans up and see what happens. That's basically what they do. That's their whole thing. They just get paid to argue two sides. I can't sell my soul for that, man, because I feel the way that I feel, and I'm gonna speak the way that it is. Like I'm not if it's a goat, if I'm looking at a goat and we're having a conversation about this said goat, and somebody is gonna tell me it's an elephant, well, goddamn it, it's not an elephant because if you ain't blind in one eye, can't see out the other, we could both see that we're looking at a goat. So, like, that's just me. I can't. If it's clear and present, there's no way I could argue against that. You know what I mean? I answered that question already. I said either a safety or cornerback. You said Jerry Jones the downfall of the Cowboys. I don't think so. I'm looking at things now, and you see what Mike McCarthy did. He came in here and he was allowed. Jerry Jones had no thought into what's happening right now as far as this coaching staff. Jerry Jones allowed Mike. He said, Mike McCarthy, do you. Because don't you think this team wanted to keep John Kidner? Don't you think this team wanted to keep Gary Brown? They allowed them to go because they trusted Mike McCarthy. And I think that this is starting a change in this. That's why I said this team is starting to look different, not just with the coaching staff, but the fact that the roles are being changed. Jerry Jones is not that guy that's going to be all in the shit like he used to be. We already started seeing a change ever since Dak got drafted. He's not down there on the field like he used to be. Jerry Jones is in the suite the whole game. You know what I mean? So it's things are changing. Things are changing. My son will be 8 months on the 25th. You want Delpit? Yeah, I like Delpit. I gotta look more into him. I know he's been having some injuries and things of that nature, so which kind of was messing up his tackles or anything. But I think that he'll be a good player by the time. Well, we'll see what happens when he goes to the combine and things of that nature. Joe Philbin, former coach, former assistant to Mike McCarthy at the Green Bay Packers. He's the Cowboys offensive line coach. Now, I loved Mark Colombo. I really liked Mark Colombo. But you know, he was a young coach as well. I liked him because the players liked him. You know what I mean? And the players were comfortable with him. I just hope that Joe Philbin is a great coach. I just think that I hope that this offensive line takes to him like they did Mark Colombo. That's how I feel about that. And then Jeff Blasco is going to be his assistant. Jerry needs to let Mike McCarthy coach the team. He will. I mean, he's already doing that. He allowed him to change his whole coaching staff. I mean, that already tells you right there what he thinks about him. I do want to see more of Blake Jarwin. Jason Garrett to the Giants. If you look at my last video, you'll know my views on that. But I basically said in there that it's gonna be interesting to see him across the field from us. I mean, you go from coaching the Dallas Cowboys for 9-10 seasons, and now you go to the enemy, and now we're gonna be coaching against him twice a year. Now, I had somebody come in here and said that Jason Garrett is much better than Kellen Moore calling plays, blah blah. That could be to be determined. There could be a hell of an argument on that one. I'm gonna bet my hedge on Kellen Moore because he's young and he's gonna be the one to make adjustments. Jason Garrett don't make adjustments. He never has since he's been on this team. I've never seen him Jason Garrett he'll get his team some wins, right? I'll give him that. But Jason Garrett is not the coach to when it matters, when you get to playoffs. Things change when you get to the playoffs because teams start doing different things that you've never seen. And Jason Garrett don't know how to adjust to that said thing. And because he doesn't know how to adjust to that said thing, here we are. We're sitting here speculating what's going to happen. Now, I heard that what's his name? Scott Linehan is supposed to be going up there and interviewing with the Giants as well. I don't know. And even Jason Witten said he want to go with Jason Garrett. I don't know. Look, I didn't know that Jason Witten was that tied to Jason Garrett. I didn't know that he was on his cojones like that. I just, to the fact that you would want to play for the Giants, like that's crazy. Um, but Jason Witten ain't gonna get that starting spot. He ain't unseating Evan Ingram. That's not gonna happen. So that'll be interesting to see Jason Witten. They already got Jason Garrett and then Scott Linehan as well. Basically, the Giants about to turn into the old Cowboys. It's oh my god, you might as well call them the Garrett Giants, the New York Garretts. God damn it, the New York Garretts. Man, look, I'm just glad he's not our coach anymore. How about that? I already said I want a safety or corner. So Jim Tomsula is our defensive line coach. Now, that's two guys right there, both him and Philbin, that's been head coaches. Now, Tomsula hasn't been a great head coach, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. As some of his former players, they'll tell you. I've seen him, with different teams and with the Redskins, and I've seen what he's done with some of these guys, and I think that that'd be really good for our defensive line. That's how I feel about that. Which I think Byron Jones goes. It really depends on him. I mean, is he gonna take a contract that's like a $13 million contract to stay with the Cowboys? Because the Cowboys could pay him $13 million. If he accepts that, then I think he stays. I think that you need to keep a guy like Byron because he's solid, and you don't know what other guys are going to be gone. So I think that because Byron Jones has been solid, I think that he should be a guy that stays. Yeah, he turned that Montez into a beast. Yeah, and you look at Montez, you look at a lot of those Alabama front guys that they had over the Redskins. The Redskins, if they get the right defensive coaches in there, and I know that they got Ron Rivera, he's a defensive minded head coach. I think that they're gonna be and they got Jack Del Rio as their defensive coordinator now. So the Redskins might do something next year. So I wouldn't be surprised. You like Donovan Alumba? Yeah, he's cool. He's just a little slower than we need him to be, though. Anthony Hitchens going to the Super Bowl. Thank you, Paul. I meant to say I had that in my head to talk about today too. Anthony Hitchens going to the Super Bowl. Damian Wilson going to the Super Bowl, and Morris Claiborne is going to the Super Bowl. Y'all believe that shit? God damn. Mike McCarthy and Cobb is dangerous. Yeah, that's why I hope that they re-sign Cobb. If they re-sign Cobb, man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it. And they might bring back Tavon Austin too because of the John Fossil, because John Fossil could use him, and he will use him. The problem with this last coaching staff is that we had Ferraris in the driveway, but we weren't using them. I'm just saying. Lunda Wells comes from the Giants. Giants' old tight ends coach. He is now the Dallas Cowboys tight ends coach. I don't know much about him, so I don't know what to really say about him. And I don't know how our tight end class is gonna shake out, because we got Blake Jarwin. They're gonna have to re-sign him too, because I think his contract is up too. But he's gonna get re-signed. We're not worried about that. You said Cobb 3-year, $24 million. I can see that. Yeah, but Tavon fumbled with the Rams, but how many years ago was that? I don't recall him fumbling like that with us. I mean, he may have had one because he was getting the shit hit out of him. Look how small he is. But I mean, he's been holding the ball with us though. And I mean, he's done some things with the little that they used him. Every time they used Tavon, it was a positive play. So I can't see myself hating on a guy that all he does is make positive plays. I can't hate on that. And I ain't no hater. I ain't never been. Never will be. And I already talked about Skip Pete. We'll see what happens with him. I know that he's going to make these running backs physical. I do know that. he has a bruising back like Ezekiel Elliott, and then he has Tony Pollard, a smaller scat back type of guy. And I think that he can use both of these guys interchangeably. And I think that you're gonna see even more out of this run game. I know a lot of people keep saying that Mike McCarthy's gonna come in here and we're not gonna run the ball. I think that's bullshit because there's no way Mike McCarthy comes in here as a coach in the league for 13 years. I don't give a shit what he did before. Remember, Mike McCarthy had Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy ain't Ezekiel Elliott. Eddie Lacy damn sure ain't no Tony Pollard. So he's got more to work with here. So you look at what he has with these guys, he's probably salivating. He's like, well, shit, I can do some things with Dak, but I can also do some things with this running game. So the possibilities are endless. So let me go ahead and bring a guy back that's been with the Cowboys, that's worked with this team, that knows Jerry Jones, and knows what they like to do with this team, and bring back a guy like Skip Pete and see what we can do. Because Skip Pete is he's a good running backs coach. I mean, I know he's been doing some things with Gurley. I know there's been a lot of talk about Gurley because, but Gurley's been injured. Ezekiel Elliott ain't injured like that. He can use Ezekiel Elliott. He can use Tony Pollard. And he's going to, yeah, like you said, balance it. He is going to balance these guys out. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a good little thing going on, y'all. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some things that we haven't seen before. He turned him into a 350-pound dog. So I think Eddie Lacy turned himself into that. I don't think they made him bigger. I think that he just, I don't know, just ate his way that way, I guess. I don't know. Zeke does need a full camp, and he should get a full camp. He ain't got no reason to not be in camp. He got a contract. So, shit. I did like CJ Anderson. Where is CJ Anderson at right now anyway? I want to see Pollard cross train and slot wide receiver. He don't need to be cross trained. He can step out wide. He knows the slot as well. He can do that. Yeah. Now, Mike McCarthy is a good coach. I don't understand why people say that he's a bad hire. That shit is stupid. I don't want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. I just already answered why I thought about Skip Pete. I just got through saying it. Oh, well, now you already know he's going to revamp the secondary. He already said that basically what they're going to do on defense, they're going to keep the 4-3, the four-man front, but they're going to change the scheme, especially in the secondary. So they're going to switch some things up there, and they're going to play it to how these players are. And we're not going to sit here and nickel and dime the whole way and stuck in a cover three and not disguising our coverages and just doing the same thing, just lining up and going. That's what they were doing, lining up and going. And you guys can say what you want about certain things that happen with this team, but again, everything is speculation until you actually know what the real story is. And me, I don't like to judge things before I know what's going on, but it just seems like for so long we were just, and Jerry Jones was just hiring the people that he knew, people that he was comfortable with. But now it's like you gotta allow your coach to be your coach, and then that's what he's doing right now. I mean, it does sound like we're keeping Cobb. I mean, I hope that's the case. Corey, you said you're a Dak guy. I'm a Dak guy too, and Dak is going to be the quarterback of this team going forward. So that's pretty much what it is. um. Oh yeah, and the Cowboys did sign Adam Henry as their wide receivers coach. He was the Browns wide receiver coach last year, and before that, he was the Giants wide receivers coach. So it was almost like he followed Odell Beckham wherever he went. Now, I can't really gauge. I can't. Yeah, we are keeping Quinn. I hope we keep Quinn. Um, that's one of my pet cats. I think that I can't really gauge the Browns. I know that their wide receiver core wasn't the best last year, but when I look at that team, Freddie Kitchens just fucked up. You know what I mean? Like his whole first year with the team, it just all went to crap. But I don't know who to blame because I'm not a fan of the Browns, so I don't watch them like I do the Cowboys. But from what I've seen on the outside looking in, I mean, I don't know what to really say about Adam Henry. I don't know. I don't know if he's a great coach or what. I don't know anything about him. But we'll see. We'll see. But I know that Sanjay Lal wasn't working out, obviously. So you got to do something there. You know, Scott McCurley is our linebackers coach. He was in Green Bay with Mike McCarthy as well. As you guys know, Doug Nussmeier moved from tight ends coach to quarterbacks coach, so now he's going to be right there with Dak Prescott. Again, Dak Prescott already knows him. He's probably already been talking to him, so it's not really much of a change there. And Maurice Linguist is the DB's coach. We got him from Texas A&M, young guy, and also his assistant is going to be Al Harris. And if you know who Al Harris is, he played for the Green Bay Packers when Mike McCarthy was a coach in his early years. And after he retired, he was assistant at some other place. I forgot where he was before, but now he's coming to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if he was with the Chiefs or was he with the Chiefs? I don't know. But anyway, he's coming to Dallas now. He's going to be the assistant DB coach. So I look at him as like a young Chris Richard. So we'll see how that works. Now, we can speculate what happened with Chris Richard. All I know is that he didn't see eye to eye with Rob Marinelli and Ben Bloom. So some of the feelings and stuff got sour. So I guess they kind of was like, well, we got to get rid of everybody. So you think we need a DT in the So here's the thing, Art. I don't know why the Cowboys don't value defensive tackles, but we see if they change their mind now. They like to get defensive tackles off of the clearance bin, like how they got Kerry Hyder and Christian Covington. They like to get some of those defensive front guys off of the clearance cycle, off the clearance bin. It's like the thrift shop. I'm an Aggies fan, so I know a lot about our new DB's coach. He wasn't good at all, so I don't know why he did that. Oh, you don't like him? Okay. Well, I don't know. Like I said, you probably know more than I do about that one because, like I said, I haven't watched him when he was in Texas. So we'll see. We'll see. Good old Aggies. But look, guys. I don't know what I got here. Oh yeah, I want to talk about. I jotted a couple of notes down, so I didn't forget what I wanted to talk about in the chat. So like I said, the Cowboys are going with the West Coast offense, as Mike McCarthy said, and that defensive front staying with the 4-3. Thank God. I'm so glad that they're keeping the 4-3 defense. They're going to switch some things over in the secondary. I'm excited about them making those changes in the secondary because, again, we know how this defense was. We were getting teams just to run right through us, and that was not cool. As far as the offense goes with the West Coast offense, so the West Coast offense, if you guys don't know, it's really predicated on getting the quarterback the ball out quick. Perfect example of this is Jared Goff. Jared Goff with the LA Rams. When Sean McVay came over there, they were running that, and it's almost like his career was revitalized. He became a better player, and we almost thought that he was a first-round bust, but he revitalized his career, and now he's doing better within that scheme. And I think that a guy like Dak Prescott, you know, a guy that runs shotgun and play action, and a lot of the stuff that Dak was doing in college, I think that this is the perfect offense for him to be in. You want us to run a 3-4. So I agree. This is the reason why it would be no point of us doing a 3-4 right now, because you gotta have the personnel for a 3-4. We don't have the personnel for a 3-4. Our linebackers are smaller hybrid guys. They are not put your hand in the dirt, go go rush the quarterback. They're not like Zadarius Smith or Preston Smith. Those are not the type of linebackers that we have. That's why the Packers run a 3-4 because they have the personnel for that. We don't have the personnel for it. Jalen Smith is not a 3-4 guy. He's not a guy. Now, what you're confusing is what Jalen Smith can do. He can blitz. See, blitzing is different than rushing the passer. See, when you're blitzing, you're doing that part-time as a linebacker. Because when I played football, I blitzed as well. And I used to love, but you get in the gaps. Once you get hung up on the offensive lineman, being that small, they're going to knock your ass out of the way. you you got to get a clear path to the quarterback. You're not going up against offensive linemen. It's not going to be a good thing for this team. Like if we picked the same guys we have now, and you guys say you love Robert Quinn, right? You want to go through a 3-4? Robert Quinn ain't gonna be on this team because Robert Quinn is not a 3-4 guy. This is the reason why we got him from the Dolphins, because the Dolphins run a 3-4. This is why they got rid of him, because he doesn't fit their scheme. He's a 4-3 guy. D-Law, he can do either or, but he's still a better 4-3. There's only two guys on this defense right now that would be good for the 3-4, and that's Christian Covington and Tyrone Crawford. That's it. Maybe Malik Collins. So I'll say 3. Malik Collins as well. But that's it. You literally have to get rid of everybody and start over. D-Law going to give him his money back so we can run a 3-4? Not going to happen. That's why you got to keep the 4-3. And the 4-3 is not trash. It's not see what you got to understand about how the scheme work. It's just the 4-3 and the 3-4 is just a base defense. There's nothing to be trash about it. You can't really change. It is what it is. Now, how you run it and what you do scheme-wise, whether you're running cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, cover 4, whatever that you're doing, and how you're disguising your looks on defense is how you get pressure on the ball. The type of players you have running in that scheme determines how well it does. It's not it itself. It's how you're running it. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that it's beneficial. I'm glad that they're keeping the 4-3 because that's what you have on your roster right now is 4-3 guys. I don't know if LVE will retire. Let's not speculate yet. Let's wait and see how his neck does because he might come back from that and be fine. There's players that had that surgery before that come back and done really well. Eric Ramirez, what's going on? Take a look at Derek. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at a lot of these guys. I'm just not doing it right now. Like I said, I'm gonna wait till after the Super Bowl, after free agency. I'm taking it one step at a time because I got a lot going on, even in my personal life. So I'm gonna start my draft stuff after the Super Bowl. So we'll do all that stuff then. No Tampa 2. That's gone. That was Ron Marinelli's. That's why I just said. Mike McCarthy said, I'm gonna say it again. Mike McCarthy said he's going to keep the 4-3 base with the 4 down linemen, the 3 linebackers or whatever, and the scheme is going to change, meaning no Tampa 2. So like I said, he's just keeping the 4-3 base, but he's changing the scheme up. He's switching up. It's almost like he's Frankensteining the defense, which I like. I'm going to like that a lot. South of Heaven, what's going on, brother? Shout out to South of Heaven. Y'all go ahead and y'all want some custom jerseys, man. Hit him up on Instagram. Mike Mosh. Can I see the Giants giving us problems with Garrett? I'm gonna say right now. I'm gonna say no because we're changing things up now that Jason Garrett's gone. So it's not gonna be the same thing. Now Jason Garrett might know Dak's tendencies, and he might know some of these guys' tendencies, so he might be able to whisper to his defense over there and be like, "Hey, y'all can do this, y'all can do that." But I think that we'll still make too many adjustments for it to even be an issue. So that's how I'm looking at it right now. But ask me that question close to the team. I want to see how their team looks after the draft, and I want to see how our team looks after the draft. So it's really too early to really say, to speculate on any of that. Well, as first of all, free agency, we need to get some of the. First of all, we need to sign our own guys first. We got to get Dak. We got to get Amari. We got to figure out what we're going to do with Byron Jones. We got to get Quinn. We got to get Randall Cobb. So, first of all, we got to, before we even look outside for free agency, we need to get the guys that we need right now to push Mike McCarthy's offense. So, and you said Mike McCarthy will own Jason Garrett. He will. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. So like I was saying, in this West Coast offense, right? So the principles are um running the ball successfully rather than often. So what that means is when you're running the ball, you're not running the ball like how Jason Garrett wanted to run the ball, where we're just running straight through the middle, even though the defense is stopping us, we're just banging our heads on the damn wall. We're going to run the ball for success. We're going to run the ball in the best situations that make sense, and we're going to be successful at running the ball that way. It's not going to be a game where it's like, well, we're going to run the ball about 32 times here. We're going to run the ball 24 times there. It's not a percentage. It's based on who you're playing, how the game is going, and what you're doing, and how you're manipulating the team that is across from you. That's pretty much how it is. Now, pre-snap motion is another one. We didn't do a lot of that before. Am I coming to the Vegas for the draft? I'm trying to. I'm still working on it. Still working on it. I think that pre-snap motion, we weren't doing a lot of that. And again, with the way we lined up, whether it was offense or defense, defenses and offenses knew what we were going to do because we didn't do anything that switched up how we were. Like when you come up to the line, right, and you line up, and if you're a defense and you know how a lot of offenses is running, and you know that team, and you played that team many times before, so you know how what they're going to do at any given time. You're like, okay, they're going to run the ball here. And if you know their tendency is to run the ball on 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 6, more likely you're going to be ready for that. So your guys are going to get a jump start, and when that ball is snapped, they're going to tackle the running back, and he's going to go down for less yardage or minus yardage for that matter. So pre-snap motions is going to be key. Play action pass, perfect for Dak Prescott. These are the things that he excels in. You got to keep Dak Prescott looking around, head on a swivel. You got to make sure that Dak Prescott is going through his progressions, going through his reads, making sure that Dak Prescott is getting that ball out faster. Because I think that the ball, Dak Prescott getting that ball out faster is going to help him tremendously going forward. And I'm liking what I see when it comes to that. So yeah. You said Gary gonna have him at 8-8. That's funny. So I said play action pass. So early down passing. So throwing the ball on 1st or 2nd down. A lot of times when you see this Dallas Cowboy team, we've been really like just doing the same thing. We know they're gonna run the ball on 1st and 10. You know when we're gonna run the ball. So we gotta switch it up. Now, I'm a type of guy, like I love running the ball, but I'm also that type of guy that want to back that defense up. I want to come out the gate throwing a deep ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to back their asses up. Like, look here, you ain't blitzing today, bro. You go give me some time in this pockets. You understand what I'm saying? Give me some time in this pocket. I'm going to throw this ball deep. I'm going to back that ass up, and y'all ain't gonna be able to touch me because I'm gonna be over here. Y'all gonna be out there. Am I coming to New Orleans for Mardi Gras? Man, I would love to, man, but if I had it, I would. I'm just a broke, starving artist, a starving YouTuber. Oh yeah, so like I said, the early down pass and being able to make adjustments. Your opponents can't randomize what you do. Basically, knowing your tendencies. You have to make yourself. 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 You have to make yourself you have to come in there and look at it like this. Okay, so you can't show what your tendencies are. Everybody has tendencies. Every coach has a tendency. Every player has a tendency. But you have to be able to switch things up and do things at a different pace. Do things that when a defense looks at you, they're like confused. They're like, I don't know what he's gonna do at this given moment in time. I'm confused. You gotta confuse the defense. You gotta do that. Because if you're not confusing the defense, they're gonna stop you every damn time. Every time. So stop doing it. Hey, what's going on, Coco? So yeah. So you have to make sure that when you are um running your offense that you're not showing too many of your tendencies. So if you're gonna run the ball on first down on this time, man, throw that motherfucker 62 yards the next time. You know what I'm saying? Like switch it up, do things different, do some bootlegs, do some play action. We talked about this all last season about the RPO and the play action passes and how the rate of us doing play action, the more we did play action, the more we won last year. The better we did in games last year. I want to see Pollard. I want to see Austin. Now, if they bring back Austin, I don't know. If you bring back Austin next year and you got Pollard out there, you can throw those guys in the flat. You can put these guys, spread these guys out wide and put them in the slot and act as a receiver. There's so many different combinations that this Dallas Cowboys team can do. Do you understand that there's teams that were in the playoffs that were not better than the Cowboys? When I say player wise, roster wise, now their coaching staff is obviously much better, but was now. But when we had Jason Garrett as a coach, we weren't able to utilize our players. We're not doing anything. You draft Tristan Hill in the second round, but our first pick in last year's draft, and you didn't do a damn thing with him. He was sitting on the sideline in street clothes. You got rid of Taco. Okay. Taco goes to the Dolphins and he plays better there. Whose fault is that? I got to give the Eagles credit as well. The Eagles had a better coaching staff than us. You know what I mean? Like they went to the playoffs. They played better with less. They were playing with goddamn practice squad wide receivers and a practice squad running back. This little Scott was out there running his ass off. Everybody was like, who is this Scott guy for the Eagles? You got to give Doug Peterson his respect for that. And that is when I looked at that, I said, damn, that's coaching. That's goddamn coaching. Because I guarantee you, Mike McCarthy looked at this offense and looked at this defense and looked at some of these players we had on this team and was like, the hell? Why the hell did they make it to the playoffs? I don't understand that. I could do something with that. Let me get my hands on this roster. That's why he looked at Kellen Moore. He was like, look, I like what he was doing last year, even though it was his first year calling plays. I like what he was doing. Let me see some more of that. Let me see what I can do with it. I can groom this guy and make him even better. He looked at Dak Prescott and he was like, it's a young guy that has made it to the playoffs. A young guy that played against me when I was the coach of the Green Bay Packers. And this is what Mike McCarthy was probably saying to himself. He had a lot of respect for Dak because he saw him his rookie year in a playoff game when we played against Green Bay. It was like, he almost beat me and my team with that trash coaching staff that he had. Because he didn't flinch. He didn't back down. He didn't take no for an answer. And he didn't make any damn excuses. And he also did not throw anybody on the bus. And as many times he could have thrown Jason Garrett on the bus. As many times he could have thrown some other players under the bus. But he didn't do that. He took everything in stride. He ate that shit and took it like a man. That's what it is. Now, at this point, you gotta shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll still be among the stars and those stars are the playoffs. So shoot for the best. You gotta every year you gotta shoot for the best. You can't go out there half-assed it. You know why the Jets beat us? You know why the Bears beat us? Because we did not play like how we should. I'm just saying. You know, And some of that has to do with discipline as well. And I talked about this before. You get the right coaches in here, and I hope these guys are those type of coaches. Some of them have been coaches for a long time for different teams. There's a lot of experience on this staff right now, so we'll see what happens. And I'm gonna tell you, experience makes a lot of difference. And I know that like you got to start somewhere. But Dallas Cowboys are this close to being Super Bowl contenders. It's not like we're in rebuilding mode. I can see if we were a team like the Browns or the team like the Jaguars, because I think the Jaguars are probably going back and rebuilding now as well. Those teams are rebuilding. We're not rebuilding. The Cardinals, they're rebuilding. Tampa Bay, they're definitely rebuilding because they might not even keep Jameis Winston. So we're not in rebuild mode. You have your franchise quarterback. Just sign his ass. Give him a contract. Stop playing around. Give him his little 38, 40 million and leave it alone. Stop it. So I think that we just needed the guidance. The players are there. You just have to get them to play football the way that they need to. That's it. That's it. And I think that everything that we talk about day in and day out about this team, everything is going to come into place once the sun and the moon and the stars align. Because when you see other teams that play well with less talent, I should tell you something. That should tell you something. Because there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that we got all this talent on this team. We got a great running game. You got all these fast guys. They don't use them. When the last time you seen Devin Smith out there running routes? You saw Tony Pollard here and there. You saw Tavon definitely here and there. And, everybody asks about Dez Bryant. When Dez Bryant come back, why not kick the tires on him? Why not? Fuck it. Try him out. See if he still got something to tank. If he still got something to tank, it's a win-win. You don't even have to use Dez Bryant that much. You could throw him. You utilize your players to the strengths that they play. And what is Dez Bryant's strengths? The slant route and the over-the-shoulder pass. He's an end zone threat and he's a middle of the field threat. So for those two very reasons is why that's the only reason why you would bring him back. Now you got to figure out what you're going to do with tight end, because Blake Jarwin still needs a contract too. If he's going to be your number one, go ahead and sign him for a new contract and draft you another young tight end in the third round. Dez Bryant ain't going to be no tight end. He's a wide receiver. He is a raw guy that is not the greatest route runner, but you don't need him to be, because if you move him around and he knows what he's doing within that system, that's all that matters. And he knows the Cowboys. The verbiage is still going to change, be the same. Mike McCarthy's not changing the terminology. The terminology is still going to be the same. He's just changing how we do things. And that's going to be huge, because, again, you keep beating your head into the wall and doing the same shit over and over again, you don't get the same damn results. That's just how it happens. Now, real quick, I do want to talk about, speaking of segueing into Kellen Moore and how he did this season. And I saw somebody in the comments that said that Kellen Moore was trash. And I said, where? Where is he trash? Now, I thought that he was pretty decent, considering that it was his first time calling plays in the goddamn NFL. I thought that he called a pretty good season. Yes, he made mistakes. And every young coach, every young player, every young anything, whenever you start anything, you're going to make mistakes. You, talking to you. You start a new job, right? You work at a brand new job. You just got hired your first week. You don't know a damn thing. You don't know how the culture of that place is. You don't know what to do. You just following people like a mouse. Like a mouse of cheese. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. So you learn from the person that's training you, and hopefully you retain that information and get better and better. So this is what Kellen Moore is doing now. He decided to stay with the Cowboys. He is learning how to be a better coordinator. He is under the tutelage of Mike McCarthy, and as he's calling plays and as he learns from Mike McCarthy and see how he conducts his team, he ain't gonna do nothing but get better, and it will make Kellen Moore even a better play caller than he was last year. And I'm glad that he's still on this staff because right now he has the opportunity for greatness. He has the opportunity to keep going. Yeah, of course we're not impressed yet because he just started. You got to start from somewhere. And like I already said that yes, was he perfect? No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But Mike McCarthy liked him because he saw some of the plays that he made up, that he brought from Boise State, some of the stuff that he was doing before, some of the things that he schemed out, and some of the things that he saw and was like, okay, well, I know that Dak can do this, so let's try this. He actually stood outside the box, which Jason Garrett did not. He stood outside the box and he did different things that Jason Garrett did not do. So understand that with Kellen Moore. Yes, it's going to be some growing pains, but not that much though. I don't think that it's that bad because if it was that bad, Mike McCarthy would have got his ass out of there with Mark Colombo and everybody else. So he saw something in the boy genius that obviously you guys are not seeing. So, and I see it as well. And I'm talking to you from a guy that knows football, a guy that's played the sport. So, I look at Kellen Moore in a whole different light than other people look at it. I look things through a glass window. I look through things through a magnifying glass. I look at it and I study it and I analyze and I'm like, okay, so, and I go back and watch games. I'm like a freak. I'll go back and watch games and I'll look at certain highlights of certain things and I'm like, I see what he did there with that play. I see what he was thinking there. Oh, Kellen Moore shouldn't have ran the ball there. Oh, so I looked at some of the things that he didn't do well. And I looked at the things that he did do well. And I saw that where he obviously can get better. It's not nothing that Mike McCarthy can't get him to do again, which is the reason why he's still here. So you look at his stats from last year as far as how this offense is doing. So you gauge that on him versus Scott Linehan. So in Kellen Moore's offense, points per game, Kellen Moore was 27.1 points per game. Scott Linehan was 21.4. So remember that number 27 for Kellen, 21 for Linehan. Remember what I was telling you guys before. The difference between when Linehan left and when Kellen Moore took over is, remember, a lot of those games, we were only a touchdown away from winning the game. If we would have scored one more time, we would have beat the team that we played against. We just couldn't get over that hump. So Kellen Moore took a little bit more chances, and I think that when you play football, you got to take chances. You got to take smart chances, that is. You don't make it to the point that like you're going to lose the game for your team, but you got to take chances at the right time that makes sense. And that's what Kellen Moore was trying to do. And he got Dak to throw the ball more. He said that, look, I know what Dak can do, and this guy's open. Get him the damn ball down the field. So common sense will tell you, if a team think that you can't throw the ball deep, throw that damn ball deep and show them what you can do. And that's basically what he did. And I'm just saying, oh yeah, Junebug, he will do much better than Jason Garrett ain't clapping in his damn ear. We know about that. You look at yards per game, a whopping 431.5 yards per game, as opposed to Linehan's 340. So that total yardage per game has gone up. You're throwing the ball more, yes, but you're giving more opportunities for your receivers to catch the ball as well. Because you look at before, you didn't have, these guys weren't catching the ball. And if your guys ain't catching and they dropping the ball, so your numbers are going to reflect that. Passing yards per attempt. 8.2 for Dak. For Kellen Moore. And then under Linehan, it was 7. So, same thing. The average yards per catch is much higher with Kellen Moore because obviously he's getting the guys, he's telling Dak, hey, look, We're gonna run this play to get this guy open on this particular route, and we're gonna utilize and we're going to take advantage of this mismatch that we have from the DB that is following said receiver. You got to go in a game sometimes. Yes, you go into a game plan. And this is the biggest knock I had on Jason Garrett, is the fact that he would come in with a game plan, but when you get into the game, things change because the defense is different. You don't know how the defense is going to play until you get into the game. So, but they weren't making the necessary adjustments to do that. So if the team is playing you a certain way, you literally have to switch up what you're doing. Your game plan not necessarily goes out the window, but you have to switch it up. You have to make some changes with it. And if you're not making changes with it, then what the hell is the point? Rushing yards per attempt. 4.8 and 4.5. So it's right there. So as far as running the ball, we still do it about the same as we did before. So again, it's all about your opportunities and you utilizing the right play at the right time. Swagger, do you say you want McCarthy to call play? It doesn't matter. Kellen Moore, or him calling the plays, Mike McCarthy's going to be right there. And understand that Mike McCarthy is still going to be in his ear like, hey, but Mike McCarthy in his ear is better than Jason Garrett in his ear because Mike McCarthy is a real coach. Oops, did I say that? I'm sorry. Oh my God. So yeah, that I just wanted to get that knocked out the way so you guys can have a little understanding of where I'm coming from with that. So let me know what you guys think about this whole coaching change. What you think about for next year. Don't ask me anything about the draft right now because I'm not getting into it just yet until after the Super Bowl. But I'm gonna be the next thing I'm looking at right now is free agency and some of the guys that we're gonna be retaining. I'm gonna do a video on the free agents that we have and just go through every free agent and see, okay, so what does it take to bring this guy back? If this guy is worth coming back, or do I think that they're gonna go to another team? So, but your top priority right now is Dak and Amari. That is your top priority right now as far as free agents. So, we can go ahead and get that knocked out and understand that that's what that's going to be. Yes, discipline and accountability. And that's what this team needs the most. And it's not like these players suck. They just need discipline. They're young. They got it. They got to get it together. They got to figure things out, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be 10 times better than yeah. And the New York Garretts, let's see what they do up there now. Him, Joe Judge, that's gonna be a toss-up up there. I'm not saying that they're gonna suck, but they might actually do something. I'm not gonna hate on the Giants. Who knows? They might do something. Jason Garrett might be on get back mode. He might, oh, Jerry, thought you was my friend. You're not my friend no more, Jerry. You gonna let your son get rid of me? That's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna go up here to the Giants and shit. I'm gonna call the plays and I'm gonna be like, yeah, what's up? Now what? 8-8. 8-8, baby. Meanwhile, we're in the playoffs. But anywho, we'll see what happens. You're glad Maurice Linguist is going to be the coach to watch. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on with him. I don't know much about him, but I will learn him soon enough. Xavier Woods said, talent, let's put it together. Yeah, I mean, look, I take some of what these players say as a grain of salt, especially when it comes to the media, because they can't say what they really want to say. You got to catch them on their social media. When you catch them on their social media, that's when you get their real thoughts about stuff, because sometimes they'll give you a little snippet of how they really feel on their Twitter, on their Instagrams, but when they're talking to the media, it's like, But I got respect for him, you know what I'm saying? Like Wooty Woo, he was a great coach, he was a great coach. I'm not talking about my coach like that. My coach was so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, 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 yeah. So that's how we going. I'm not gonna disrespect my coach like that. I know he with the Giants or whatever. I know he clapped a little bit on the game, but he was great to me. He drafted me. That bullshit. Look, they don't even matter. It doesn't matter. Don't matter. Jason gone. I'm excited about the future of this team. I'm excited about what McCarthy is going to bring to this team. I'm hoping that it's going to be fruitful and bring us positivity, and hopefully we can finally make a damn NFC championship game. We got a long time for that. We got a whole offseason to get through. It's going to be an interesting offseason, guys. It's going to be a lot to talk about, regardless of what we may think. I'm probably going to do some things. So my plan for the channel after this season, after the Super Bowl and everything. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about the free agents and things, breaking down some of the guys going forward. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be getting into the draft right after that, right after free agency. So we're going to talk about the draft, and hopefully that'll forward us into the draft. Hopefully I can get to Las Vegas. I'm still working on that, trying to get some things together, tie up some loose ends. Even if I can't get to Las Vegas, I will still be doing draft coverage here. I will still do my draft board. I will have my draft videos. I will do my draft live streams like I did last off season that you guys watched. Thank you for that. And we're just gonna keep it moving forward with that. And I think that I like Ebron. But I think that what we need to do is we just need to focus on right now. And then maybe after the draft, I'll probably do some other things on the channel. I might have some guest appearances on here. We might talk about like life stuff and do some roundtables or whatever. Who knows? Who knows? You never know what you might get. I know Mark and I were gonna go check out the XFL game, the Washington team. So we might get some footage from that. Mark is heading to the Super Bowl on Wednesday, so he'll be there from this week through the Pro Bowl all the way up to the Super Bowl. So he'll be having fun doing that. So yeah, I know you guys will be watching him and following him through his journey through the Super Bowl. What are we on 54 now? Yeah. So me personally, like I said, I'll be live streaming during the Super Bowl. Talking mess, So if you guys have any last comments or things before I log off, let me know now, or forever hold your peace. You're gonna rep the Dallas Renegades and XFL. That's what's up. Yeah, of course we all will. Let's go, Terrence Williams. But yeah, but since I live in the DMV, I can only go see the Washington team. So you're going for KC for the Super Bowl? Yeah. See, and if KC wins, that means that Anthony Hitchens, Damian Wilson, Charvarius Ward, and Morris Claiborne, which were all Cowboy players at one point in time, will get Super Bowl rings. Think about that. Think about that. I don't know. I got a lot of respect for Kansas City. I really do. That Pat Mahomes is fun to watch. You said KFC all day. Oh man, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anyway, you said no 49. No, the 49ers can't win because first of all, they cocky as hell right now, and I don't need them to get more Super Bowl wins than Dallas Cowboys. That's that. I know that's kind of petty to say, but I'd rather KC win. I think it's Pat Mahomes' time. He's put the work in. He's a bright young quarterback. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be elite, and he might be a future Hall of Famer someday if he keeps it up. He's still got a long way to go, but you got to keep it up. Yeah. To think we almost signed Sammy Watkins, right? Remember that? Remember when we almost signed him? But yeah, I just have to come to grips and come to terms with this Kansas City thing because, again, Anthony Hitchens, Damian Wilson, Charvarius Ward, Morris Claiborne, All former Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, and if they win, they will get their rings. Not with Dallas, but with the Chiefs. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So all that tells me is right now is that the Dallas Cowboys have to get off of the bullshit that they've been on for the last 25 years, and they got to get it together, and they got to play better. And with under this new coaching staff, I think that this team is going to do much better. I think that they are going to do much better, because again, you can't do nothing but get better at this point. What I think about Mike Nolan's defense. I mentioned it earlier in the chat. Basically, I don't know. I really don't know. I am happy that they're keeping the 4-3 because that's the only thing that makes sense right now. You got to keep the 4-3 until you decide you want to change your personnel to what will constitute 4-3-4. But what you have right now is for 4-3. You got to stick with what you got right now, and that's where I'm at with that. So, thoughts on keeping Keem Cooper? He's got to stay. He's got to stay. You don't give up a first round pick for a guy and then let him go 2 years later. You don't do that. Yeah, we're well overdue. We're overdue for an NFC title game. We're definitely overdue for a Super Bowl. So we just got to get in here and make some ruckus for the league. We got to come in here and let the league know that we're not a laughing stock, that we're not an average team, and we are going to be better with a better coach, period. And I know that Dak Prescott, no matter what, he's going to get hate because he is the quarterback of America's team. And there's always going to be controversy no matter what you do. Tony Romo got it. Every quarterback, Troy Aikman definitely got it. Every quarterback that ever started a game for this team has had scrutiny. So it is what it is. Would you like Dez back on the team? I said this earlier. I said yes. You guys are asking me the same questions over and over again. I say yes. I do want Dez Bryant back. I know a lot of people don't. I said that if he does come back, he is going to have to change his perception. Like he's got to be okay with taking the back seat to Cooper and Gallup and Cobb if Cobb comes back. So if he like I said, his strengths, you could use him on slant routes and you could use him in red zone on jump balls. That's it. So that's all I got for right now, guys. Yeah, I don't think Stephen Jones will let him come back though, because I think Stephen Jones is one of the guys that was the reason why he's gone. Him and Jason Garrett. So if that's all, if you guys don't have anything else, trust McCarthy over Garrett. He hasn't coached the game yet. Yeah, of course. You gotta put your trust in what you have. And Dez has been humbled, yes. And what I'm saying is I just hope that. But first of all, the team gotta want him back, and nobody has said anything about him coming back, but him. There has been no response to it. There was no rebuttal to it. So, like, what are you coming back to? So yeah. So thanks again for everybody coming in. It's going to be a 4-3. I said that many times in the chat. It's going to be a 4-3. We're staying with the 4-3. Thanks again for you guys coming in here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in here on a Monday, on Martin Luther King Day. So, in the meantime, between time, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great evening, y'all.